Welcome back to Keepers on Parade. In this segment, we'll hear about some unique challenges that this artist dealt with on his first ever keeper statue and how he overcame them to get the details just right.
The West Star Keeper, that was actually designed in-house at West Star and just needed an artist to kind of flesh out the painting process. So I had pretty much everything given to me. This is what we want, and these are the elements that we want incorporated. Initially, on the front side of it, we did add some components after the fact. On the back, after it was installed, they actually brought it back to me and wanted to incorporate like 3 or 4 more design elements, which was left up to me to kind of flesh out on the sculpture. But the design itself, I mean, they just gave me what looked like a coloring sheet and said, you know, these are some of the colors we would like, and have at it, basically. It's very different to see it flat on a sheet of paper and then have it sitting in your garage, 3-dimensional, you know, trying to figure out how I'm going to have these components go this way, or there's a lot of blank space there, what might, you know, kind of fill in the gaps a little bit. And they were fine with, you know, I think on like one of the telephone poles I added like a little bird and some swirling leaves and stuff like that. So they were fine with me adding a little bit of my own little touch on some of that stuff. This being the first one was a challenge. It was very cold out, and it was in my garage laying flat on some sawhorses, and it actually got so cold, we actually brought it indoors at our old house, which was much smaller, so the whole like dining room was totally occupied by the keeper and paint and stuff everywhere. It was kind of a mess, but the vast amount of painting that's actually involved gets a little repetitive, and this was a very detail-oriented design as well. There's a lot going on, so it was just a long process. The elements that were incorporated, electricity from, they had some light bulbs incorporated. I think there's a wind turbine on there. Some of the Kansas elements, the base is primarily like sunflowers. I think there was a West Star truck. That might have been one of the things we added after the fact. The most challenging part about this design was the wind turbine. Just to get, as I'm painting it, laying horizontally, it looked straight, but then the second I rolled it outside and stood it upright, it was kind of going like that a little bit. So that was the most challenging part of the painting process, getting the wind turbine to look straight. There's a lot going on and there's a lot to look at all the way around. So it's definitely one of the keepers I've done that really invites a close look.
Coming up on Keepers on Parade, we'll visit a keeper that many of you might have seen while taking a trip on I-135. Hear from our next artist on how he made sure it would always be spotted.